Word up.
Bow with me in prayer, please. Dear Lord, may this graduation day be a celebration of your life within us. We give you all the learning, the skills, the hard work of this time. We pour out our gifts into your hands. May we hold this memory in our hearts as we continue on our adventure. Father, may we live a life that reveals your hope and be guided in everything we do by your everlasting truth. May God's blessings follow you and all the days as you find a new journey to travel. May you walk safely along the pathways of your dreams. May his gentle hand guide the decisions you will make and the passions that you will follow. May your heart and lives always reflect the love of this truth. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you his peace. Amen.
Would everyone please rise for the posting of the colors? Would everyone please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched
Would everyone please be seated? Class, sit. Before I get started, I would like to thank all of our distinguished guests here today, Chief Albert and his staff, Mr. Bill Baruch, and any other distinguished guests that I may be missing out in the crowd. Good morning. I am Ronnie H. Bozeman, Jr., Assistant Fire Chief of the Division of Training. I'd like to thank all the family and friends that have taken time to be here today to help celebrate this special occasion for these 15 trainees. I'd like to say a special thank you to the training staff. Because of their hard work, dedication, and professionalism, we now have 15 new firefighters that will begin the next step of their journey as a member of Montgomery Fire Rescue. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Division of Training staff, starting with our Administrative Assistant, Ms. Shedrick, District Fire Chief J.T. Jordan, Captain T.L. Burton, Captain G.S. Farmer, Captain H.L. Graves, Captain C.D. Johnson, Captain M.L. Johnson, Captain M.R. Morgan, Captain W.B. Poe, and not present today is Captain B.M. Bedient. He is at the Division of Training with our 2022 B class that is in fire suppression right now. On March 18, 2022, this class started off with 19 recruits. None of them understood the pride, teamwork, and discipline it would take to complete this course. These 15 trainees sitting before you today now have a complete understanding of what it takes to become a part of an organization that prides itself in excellence while providing the very best customer service to the citizens of Montgomery. Your training was not easy. It wasn't designed to be, because if it was, anyone could do it. But not anyone can have the discipline, dedication, and professionalism to risk their lives every day to save another. Although you may graduate today, your learning does not stop here. You have only completed the first step. In the future, take all the classes and training that you can, and remember, don't train until you get it right. Train until you can't get it wrong. A great training officer once told me, train like your life depends on it. Because you know what? Every third day it will. Recruits, I'd like to congratulate you on your tremendous accomplishment as you now become firefighters. Next, I'd like to introduce Montgomery Fire Rescue's Fire Chief. Fire Chief Mifford Jordan joined this department on July 16, 1985, and quickly moved up the ranks. On December 22, 2006, Fire Chief Jordan became the 13th Fire Chief to preside over the department and lead us into the future. Over his 37 years of service, he has helped drive this department in many new directions, from providing our department members with the best apparatus and equipment on the market, to being Alabama's first department to earn an ISO Class No. 1 rating. In March of this year, Chief Jordan led the charge of Montgomery Fire Rescue, becoming the first metropolitan fire department in the state of Alabama to become accredited through the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. Fire Chief Jordan prides himself in making sure the citizens of Montgomery receive nothing but the best by encouraging this department to settle for nothing less than the best. It's at this point in time in my speech that he's expecting me to say something like, he's the Nick Saban of fire departments. Or if Montgomery Fire Rescue was a football team, it'd be called the Crimson Tide. Because that's how good we are. Instead, I'd like to spend a moment focused on him. On December 22nd, 2016, December 22nd, 2022, Chief Jordan will complete his 16th year as fire chief. In this department's history, he is the third in the longest tenured fire chief since Montgomery Fire Rescue was established as a paid department on July 14th, 1898. He follows Chief R.L. Lampley, who served as fire chief from April 1st, 1943 to January 1st, 1960. That's 16 years, 9 months. And then there's Chief J.E. Browder, who served as fire chief from November 30th, 1899 to June 5th, 1916. 16 years, 6 months, 6 days. On September 23rd of 2023, Chief Jordan will take over as the longest tenured fire chief in the history of Montgomery Fire Rescue. And on that date, and this will make him happy, on that date, he will be officially number 1. It'd be just another number 1 he'll be proud of. To put all this into perspective, Chief Jordan is presiding over a department that is 75 to 80% larger than the previous chiefs of that tenure, with a budget of $45 million, the largest in department history. Chief Jordan has been instrumental in making sure this department is the best in the state, all while providing the highest level of service possible to the citizens and visitors of the great city of Montgomery. So would everyone please welcome Fire Chief Mifford Jordan.
Thank you, Ronnie. Good morning. You just got a $10,000 raise, so you can understand that. It's a privilege as Fire Chief to greet and welcome you to this wonderful occasion. To Mayor Stephen Reed and his staff, thank you for your support and the opportunities that your office gives to Montgomery Fire Rescue to be successful. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To the Police Chief, Chief Abbott, thank you and your staff for keeping our community safe each and every day. I would like also to thank our Emergency Communication Director, which I don't think is here today, Director Shunt, for their hard work in making sure we get the citizen calls and all the helpful information that keep fire rescue informed and safe. Please allow me to extend a heartfelt thank you to the families and friends of these new firefighters. There is no greater support system than faith and family. Thank you for supporting your loved one through the completion of this academy. Again, thank each of you for being here today to celebrate this graduation and recognizing these 15 firefighters for successfully completing one of the most demanding training academies in the fire service. Allow us to take a moment to view some of what these firefighters went through to be eligible for today's graduation. About 10 minutes.
To make it to heaven, you gotta go through hell, and only if you do well. I know you know too well that you can't make it by yourself. There's no growth in the comfort zone. To get to heaven, can't go alone, cause pain is your friend. There with you from the start to the end. Won't let you down, it'll never bend. Not many recommend pain to make it, but take it, embrace it, it'll push you to greatness. Look, you can't grow without pain. You can't move without pain. You can't go without pain. You won't be the same. After the struggle and strain, you'll be stronger. Things that hurt you before, well, they don't hurt you no more. And one day, you'll give thanks for those sleepless nights and the times when you were crying, couldn't get things right. Cause the lessons pain was teaching you about this life were like an arrow, put you back and send you forward in flight. You know, there is no pain, there is no pain, there is no pain, there is none. I feel no pain, I feel no pain, I feel no pain, I feel none. There is no pain, there is no pain, there is no pain, there is none. I feel no pain, I feel no pain, I feel no pain, I feel none. gotta go through pain, you gotta go through resistance. Let the pain make change, create a better existence. There's so much to gain, keep on being persistent. Don't end it in vain, stay strong, go the distance. There's no strong person with an easy pass. They tell you from the heart that the pain won't last. Even though it hurts, stick to your task. Tough times don't, but tough people last. Your heart's bigger than any pain. You make it through anything. You make it through any pain. You make it through rainy days. You make it through hurricanes. You make it to better days. Just know you can make a change in one day. You'll give thanks for those sleepless nights and the times when you were crying, couldn't get things right. Cause that lesson pain was teaching you about this life. Well, like an arrow, put you back and take you forward and flank. You know, there is no pain. There is no pain. There is no pain. There is none. I feel no pain. I feel no pain. I feel no pain. I feel none. There is no pain. There is no pain. There is no pain. There is none. I feel no pain. I feel no pain. I feel no pain. I feel none. There is no pain. There is no pain. There is no pain. There is none. I feel no pain. I feel no pain. I feel no pain. I feel none. There is no pain. There is no pain. There is no pain. There is none. I feel no pain. I feel no pain. I feel no pain. I feel none.
First and foremost, I want to thank our new firefighters for joining Montgomery Fire and Rescue and for their willingness and desire to serve and protect the citizens of Montgomery and take on one of the most honorable but dangerous occupations in the world. The 22 weeks of training that you endured was intense, grueling, and exhausting. It was hard, but you overcame hard. You learned how to make hard conditions easy, and you received some of the best training in the nation by one of the best training staff in the nation. And it was all designed to prepare you for the roads ahead. I congratulate each of you on your achievement. As you move beyond your fire academy training, I want you to concentrate on and develop a spirit of excellence. You may ask, what does that mean? A spirit of excellence is when you or someone give your very, very best to everything that you do or work on. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellent, then, is not an act, but a habit. And I would extend that to say that excellent is an attitude, just as much as it is a habit. Attitude and habit are built on choices that we make every single day. If you choose to make great choices consistently, you will develop a spirit of excellence. It's required that you do not settle for average or mediocre, but to stretch one step further towards excellence every single day. Excellence is a repeated choice to step beyond, above and beyond, and to bring an attitude of high standards with positivity and grace. A standard of excellence is tough to maintain, but it is important as you work towards a successful career. Having a spirit of excellence will help set you apart from everyone else. May God continue to favor you and bless you. Again, congratulations. Welcome to Montgomery Fire and Rescue.
Our next speaker joined the ranks of Montgomery Fire Rescue on June 4th, 2004. Over the last 18 years, he has served the city of Montgomery and its citizens in several different engine and ladder companies across the city. I've also had the privilege of being one of his supervisors at one time or another. Today, he is here to speak to the graduating class of 2022A and offer a few words of encouragement and motivation. Would everyone please welcome to the stage Fire Sergeant D.O. Watson. Was that yours? Was that yours or you got it in your head?
Thank you. Good morning. First off, I'd like to thank Chief Jordan for allowing me the opportunity to speak up here to speak to y'all. All y'all recruits, y'all can look at me. Everybody, y'all don't have to look forward. Y'all can look at me this time. This job is hard. It's meant to be hard. It's intended to be hard because every day, every person that calls 911, it's the worst day of their life. It's the worst time of their life. All the family members that are here, if you've ever dialed 911 or ever had anybody dial 911, you know it was the worst time. It was the worst moment that you could possibly expect. That's what we do. That's when we come into play, along with the police force and everybody that responds. Each and every day that you come to work, you put 110% effort into learning your job. This is one of the most important jobs that we have as being a firefighter. There's going to be days that you come in, you don't want to do the work. You don't want to put forth the effort, but you have to. There's no excuses. Completing training academy is great. It's fantastic. It's the first step. But that's the easy part. Those days were easy. Every day you were tired, you were hurt, you were sweating. You looked at the guy beside you and couldn't understand how you could keep on going. That was the easy days. I want all of y'all to stand up right now. All the recruits, stand up. All the graduate recruits, stand up. Look at everybody. Look at all your family members in the audience. Look at every single one of them. Now look at the guy beside you. Look at his family. Look at each and everybody in this audience. That's what you're doing today. When you leave here, you're protecting them. That's what we do. Period. End of conversation. Young, sit down. So each time you come to work, you train every day harder than you did the day before. You learn something new from somebody with you. Find a senior firefighter, find a sergeant. Find them and become a shadow of that person. Shadows emulate the person they're following. You find you somebody you can emulate, and you follow what they do, and you learn the job. I've had the benefit and the pleasure of working around a lot of these guys that you see here, and they're here for a reason, because they're the best at what they do. And Montgomery Fire Rescue is the best at what we do. We don't stop working. We don't stop putting forth the effort. We don't quit when we're tired. We don't quit when we're hurt, because each and every person that is here depends on you. The person beside you may be the person that's depending on you that next day, or you may be depending on them. I may be depending on you. So my job, our job in the fire department is to train you and teach you. That's what the training staff do. They do a great job. The training staff is one of the best in the country. They do a great job to prepare you to come see us, to try and prepare you to come see us, because they can't prepare you for what you're going to experience at a station. I promise you. Every day is hard. Your job is to be the lowest guy, because the lowest guy has to learn the most. That's what we're here to do. But our job is to train you and to teach you the most. If I don't do my job, your lives are at risk every day. If all these chiefs that are out here don't do their job, our lives are at risk. So each and every day, come to work with the right mentality, a winner's mentality, because a winner doesn't stop. Chief Jordan is an Alabama fan. I am not at all. But Alabama has a winning mentality. He's taken that mentality and put it towards the fire rescue service. That's what we do. When we get on the scene and the house is burning, somebody's screaming, my child, my family member, there's no hesitation. There's no stopping to think, what should we do? You will at first, but we'll get you past that. We will get you past that. That is our duty. That is our job to y'all. If we don't do our job, you will not succeed. So any failure that you have is a failure on us. Remember that. Any failure that you have is a failure on us. But I promise you, I will not fail you. These guys will not fail you, because they don't fail. All of these guys out here, I've drug hosed beside just about every one of them. And they're not going to stop, and they're not going to fail you. So we're not going to fail you. You're not going to fail your family, because ultimately that's what happens. If you fail somebody else. I fail my wife. I fail my children if I fail. You fail your family. I'm not going to fail my family. So think about that each and every day you come to work. Failure is no longer an option. Being tired is no longer an option. We just had a holiday at the schedule, holiday schedule. I hate holiday schedules. I hate them. Every day's a holiday. Coming to work, the greatest job, and if a fire comes, I get to go. If a run goes, I get to go. We get to train. Don't have that mentality that you don't want to train that day because it's a holiday schedule. That's the best days to train. Come to work every day wanting to train, wanting to learn. Find the books, study the books, take the classes. Take every class you can take, every single one of them. Whether you think it doesn't matter or you don't think you're going to lose it or you're going to utilize it, take the class, because that's more knowledge in your piggy bank that you can put in there. They used to tell me when I got here, pick up an acorn every day, an acorn of knowledge every day. Pick it up, put it in your pocket, take it home with you. I picked up a lot of acorns, but I still got a lot to learn. And that's the whole thing, is every day is learning. Every day putting forth the effort. You exercise, you stay in shape. Because you may have to pull somebody. I'm a small guy. Chief Jordan is not a small guy. I may have to pull him out of a fire one day. Who do I let down if I'm not in shape to do that? I let down his family. That's what you're looking at, is your families. That's what this job is for. Yes, this job is a very good job to have for you, to make you feel good. I'm a firefighter. I've been on TV, what have you, all that stuff. That's great, but that doesn't matter. What matters is helping people. What matters is saving people. And what matters is doing the right thing when you're around everybody else. You should be the first one to do everything when you get to the station. You should want to be the first one because you've never done it. One of the questions get asked to every new guy that comes to the station: are you scared of fire? Most of them say no. But you never had one. You don't know. But guess what? That's what we're here to do, is to make it where, yeah, everybody's scared a little bit of fire. Everybody's got that in their back of their mind thinking, oh goodness, it's a fire, it's burning. I'm not supposed to be here. We are supposed to be there. That's what we're going to do. There's times where you may come to work and you're sick. You don't feel well. You don't feel quite right. It's time to train, because that's what makes you better. It's training when you don't want to. If nobody else at your station is training, you find somebody, pull them out there and train. There's always that guy that will train. To the families, thank you for supporting these guys. This is not easy. This is not an easy place to be. We are absolutely 100% the best fire department in the state of Alabama, if not the Southeast. And there's a reason for that. There's absolutely a reason. Because we train hard, we work hard, and then we rest, waiting on the next call. The times they come home to y'all and they say, I'm tired, I don't know what to do, I don't think I can do it, I don't think I can make it. Just look at them and tell them, shut up. Go in your room, clean the house up. You're going back to work the next day. You got 2 days off. 2 days off. That's a whole lot of rest. Some days there's going to be sleepless nights. They come home and they want to take a rest. They want to take a nap. They want to go to sleep. Tell them to pick the babies up. Tell them to clean the dogs. Don't let them rest. Don't let them rest right away. Give them some time, because they have to have that time to clear their mind of what they did while they were up all night. For anybody that thinks this job is easy is wrong. They're wrong. The family members, y'all will not understand what expectations are had of them when they come to the station. They're going to tell you, and it's going to be the worst expectations. Everything is unattainable at first. There's no way. They're going to have their first fire, and they're going to think their face was on fire. But it's not. It's okay. They're going to make it. And they're going to continue to progress and continue to get better with your support, because the support is here at the Montgomery Fire and Rescue. We support them each and every day in any stretch that they need, anything that they need, whether it be giving them advice, teaching them how to cook. They're going to learn how to cook, so y'all be ready at home. Teaching them how to cook, teaching them how to be stronger, teaching them how to be better than the next guy. They're going to grow up right in front of your eyes, but also you're giving them to us every third day. A third of their life is going to be spent with us for the next 25 years. So we have a part in their lives too, even if we don't want it. The newer guys are going to follow you around. The older guys are going to follow us around and say, hey, Sarge, hey, Sarge, hey, Sarge, hey, Lou. They do it every time. It gets annoying, but that's what we do. It's our job. It's what we do. The greatest thing you can have as a recruit, in my mind, is a new trainee to come to the station, because it hones me. It makes me better. Iron sharpens iron every time. They're not iron yet, but most people know me in this fire department. Not because of anything that I've done. They just know because I'm loud usually. Y'all can come see me. If y'all need anything, y'all can find out where I'm at. Y'all can call me. I'll help you in any way I can. If you have questions, we'll help you. That's what we do here. We help each other out. It's not an individual sport. Firefighting is not an individual sport. All these training officers will help you. All these chiefs, all these captains, they will help you. But make sure your mentality is right. When we have to find you, we're going to find you. But you're going to have to find yourself. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to have to find yourself. It's hard, it's easy. It's hard, it's not easy, but it's the greatest job that you could have as long as you do it right. Take care of your families, take care of yourselves, and just be grateful for what you have. Thank y'all.
If that wasn't inspirational, I don't know what is. And I know two of you sitting over there are going to Station 12, and Sergeant Watson is assigned to Station 12. So by the end of your first day, I'm sure you'll have a pocket full of acorns. Our next speaker was born and raised here in Montgomery, Alabama. On November 12, 2019, Stephen L. Reed became the 57th mayor of the city of Montgomery. In his 3 years in office, Mayor Reed has continued to advance an agenda that deals with the community's most pressing issues. Mayor Reed is a huge supporter of public safety, especially Montgomery Fire Rescue. In the next few weeks, Montgomery Fire Rescue will take possession of 5 new pumpers and 2 new platform trucks. That's over $5 million worth of equipment. Equipment that we desperately needed. When Chief Jordan approached Mayor Reed with the need for the new apparatus, his support was unwavering. And his testament on how dedicated he is to Montgomery Fire Rescue was proven with the purchase of this new equipment. So without any further delay, would everyone please welcome the Honorable Mayor Stephen L. Reed.
Good morning. It's always good to be here during this time when we are graduating a new class. Those that have chosen to sign up for a purpose, driven out of passion to help others. The bravest are surely those who have the clearest vision of what is before them, glory and danger alike, and yet notwithstanding, go out to meet it. So said the Greek historian Thucydides. I want to congratulate all the 15 firefighters who stand before us today, a moment that comes as a culmination of weeks and months of intense training. Pride, teamwork, discipline, leadership, all great to choose as a mantra. But more importantly, it's even better to implement that and to make sure it's something that you continue to live by even after today's graduation. Your training challenged you mentally and physically, and I'm sure it took an emotional toll on you and your families. I'm sure there were days when you wanted to give up, days when you had second thoughts, and days when you really wondered whether this was something that you were called to do. But here you are. You never gave up, you never gave in, and you dug in and you overcame. And while this training was tough, it was necessary to ensure you're not only there to protect the people of this city, but to protect yourself and your fellow fire and rescue teammate. To make sure that you make it home safely to your families and your loved ones. Also to make sure that you're able to respond to the great task ahead of you. And so as you begin your career with Montgomery Fire and Rescue, please know that you have joined one of the finest fire units in the world. They said the state in the Southeast, we take it global because that's how we think and that's how we compete. And that's not just hyperbole. Montgomery Fire Rescue was the first fire service organization in the state of Alabama to receive an ISO 1 rating. This is a distinction earned by fewer than 0.03% of fire departments nationwide. So when you think about joining an elite group such as this, it takes an elite person to do that, or you wouldn't be here today. So when we think about Montgomery Fire and Rescue, I want you to also know that after a 5-year process, they became the first and only internationally accredited Metro Fire Department in the state of Alabama. It now stands as one of only 278 accredited departments in the entire United States. And amid a nationwide paramedic shortage, Montgomery Fire and Rescue has pursued solutions and led the way by increasing our EMS response capabilities to 12 paramedic units. Even off-duty, Montgomery Fire and Rescue exemplifies what it means to be dedicated to the people of our community. This department raised just under $100,000 for the Muscular Dystrophy Association Fill the Boot campaign and donated $25,000 to the United Way this year under Chief Jordan's leadership. And for being among the few, thank you. And for being among the few to answer a call to service that requires uncommon courage and bravery to run toward the flames, disasters, and other emergency situations. Looking around the room today, I'm emboldened by this new class of future leaders at Montgomery Fire and Rescue. You might have big shoes to fill, but under the leadership and mentorship of the aforementioned Chief Jordan, Chief of Staff Addy, Chief of Operations Gaunt, and Chief Executive Officer Collier, and your trainers and fellow firefighters, I'm sure that you'll be ready. And so today we celebrate you and this achievement. You have answered the call and earned the right to be among the brotherhood and sisterhood that demands excellence in all things. We appreciate your family support. We appreciate the prayers of this community, and we ask for those to be continuous as you embark upon this journey. And we expect great things from you, and you should expect great things from yourselves. But most importantly, we thank you for your unyielding unselfishness, to this cause, and you're willing to be selfless in what it is you have been called to do. That is important as anything, and that is important not only to those in this room, but to those throughout this community who will call on you during times of distress. We thank you for your bravery, and we thank you for your service, and thank you for all that you do for Montgomery and our entire city, community, and this region. Congratulations.
Today, the class of 2022A has the distinct honor to have Judge Milton J. Westry, Sr. conduct the oath of office to become sworn firefighters. The Honorable Judge Westry will now swear in the class of 2022A. Class, stand.
Firefighters, raise your right hand, please, and I want you to repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Alabama, the laws and ordinances of the City of Montgomery, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of a member of the Montgomery Fire Rescue and will obey the orders and directions of my superiors to the best of my ability. You may put your hands down. Gentlemen, congratulations, and as usual, I like to try to give unsolicited advice. I've never been a fireman, but I have lived life, and I just want to suggest two things for you to do, and this going to comport with what the other distinguished speakers have indicated. The first thing gentlemen, firefighters, is this. Develop some kind of spiritual practice because life happens. Home impacts your work. Work will impact your home. So one of the best things that you can do is develop some type of spiritual practice so that you can be centered, and no matter what's going on around you, be it work or be it home, when you are called upon to execute the duties that you just swore an oath to, you'll be ready. And the second thing that I'm going to suggest to you is that you find somebody that's older than you in the fire department, somebody that you feel like you can go to in confidence, because there will be times when you can pray, but you just need a voice to hear that's going to guide you so that you can stay focused on the task at hand. So if you follow those two things, it'll be a lot easier to get through the next 25, 30, or like Chief Jordan, 37 years. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge. We appreciate your support, as always, and look forward to seeing you at every single one of our recruit graduations. Now it is time for the presentation of certificates. Would the following please join me on stage? Mayor Reed, Fire Chief Jordan, Judge Westry, Chief of Staff Addy, Chief of Operations Gaunt, and Chief Executive Officer Collier. These 15 trainees have endured 22 weeks of both mentally and physically intense training. I know how much they've looked forward to this day and thought it would never come. So without further delay, we will now commence with the presentation of their certificates. Johnny D. Anthony. Brennan C. Chelino. Duncan B. Davis. DeAndre L. Hamilton. Frederick A. Hardy, Jr. Courtney L. Levert. Lawson R. Lowry. Preston C. Mahone. Michael McKinnon, Jr. Cornelius J. Orem. Lonnie S. Russell, Jr. Daryl Stewart, Jr. Maxwell A. Webb. Darius D. Wesley. Elijah A. White. While the last few are making their way around the auditorium, how about one more round of applause for them? Montgomery Rescue Division of Training has a tradition of giving 2 awards to the outstanding recruits that have shown above average drive and commitment to excellence. Recipients of these awards are expected to continue their hard work and dedication and excel throughout their careers. At this time, we will present the awards for Top EMT and Top Recruit. It is my honor to present the Top EMT Award for Class 2022A. The recipient of this award maintained a high grade point average, passed the EMT National Registry on the first attempt, and demonstrated an above average understanding of the course material. As anyone that has completed it would agree, this course takes dedication, time, and sacrifice. Would you please join me in acknowledging this year's Top EMT Award recipient for Class 2022A with a final GPA of 91.74, Maxwell A. Webb. This brings us to the Top Recruit Award. Selecting the recipient of this next award is never an easy decision, and it wasn't this time either. All of these trainees, by virtue of completing this class, possess the qualities needed to receive the Leadership Award. The decisions were based on the trainee who maintained a high grade point average in all subjects, displayed a good attitude, good physical fitness, and most of all, helped to keep the morale of the class at a high level during the academy, and this recruit consistently demonstrated a natural leadership ability. Now, before I announce this trainee and top recruit, I want you to know that I had to call the fire college because it was a close race this time. And they had to double check their records as well because there were hundreds across the board for his GPA. It is my honor to present this year's Fire Chief Robert W. Greer Leadership Award recipient for 2022A with a final suppression GPA of 98.41 to Lawson R. Lowry. Recruit Class 2022A has requested to make a presentation to the training staff.
Good morning. Welcome to the class of 2022A graduation ceremony. I want to thank you all for coming and supporting our graduating class. Let me be the first to tell you that this has been a long process. All right. All of us officially started on March 18th. Some of us started a month before March 18th, and they're known as pre-hires. Regardless of who started where, we're all here for the same reasons, and that's to become firefighters. Specifically Montgomery firefighters. We've all come from different backgrounds, all right? Areas of life and jobs or careers. Some of us have kids and others don't. Some of us are married and others are single. The youngest person in the class is 19 and the oldest is 33. Some of us are post-military and others aren't. Despite all the differences between us, we've managed to end up in the same place to commit to a process. All right? The process of the Montgomery Fire Rescue Training Academy. I'm sure we're all familiar with Alabama football. Whether you love them or you hate them, you can't deny the success they've acquired as a football team. The proof is in the pudding. The head coach of Alabama football team is Nick Saban, and he accredits most of his success to his token phrase, the process. What's the process? The process involves setting up routines and habits that may or may not make you the best and surrendering the outcome. The process is focused on the day-to-day grind and letting success come if it does. At the end of the day, whether success comes or not, you'll know if you did your absolute best by looking back at your process. If I have a goal, an example of the process is if I have a goal to become a paramedic and I want to be as successful as I can, I'll create a process. This may look like on my off days, I study 3 to 4 hours a day. On the days that I'm on shift, with whatever downtime that I have, I use that time to study whatever material I'm given. And then once a week, maybe I'll meet with someone who's in the paramedic program to study a couple hours with them. Be it on my first attempt or my last, that is my process. Even if I have to start the program over, it doesn't matter. I'm committed to the process of being studious to become a paramedic, or if that's not in my cards, the best EMT that I can be. All right? All 15 of us have gone through the process of the Montgomery Fire Rescue Academy. We have learned what it takes to become firefighters and that we're only starting our process to become the best firefighters that we can be. The Montgomery Fire Rescue process will not only help us become the best firefighters we can be, but also sergeants, paramedics, lieutenants, captains, and hopefully chiefs. The Montgomery Fire Rescue process consists of 4 things: pride, discipline, teamwork, and leadership. Montgomery defines pride as being the best. Montgomery Fire Rescue is one of the most well-known and prestigious fire departments in the country because of its pride. Being the best, we've learned that we must be the best for the community that we serve when civilians are having their worst day. And we have to be ready to respond. We must be well-trained and physically and mentally prepared to handle whatever's thrown at us. We must be the best to effectively and efficiently serve our community when they're having their worst day. Discipline, another critical part of the Montgomery Fire Rescue process. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, whether you want to do it or not. For us, the past months have required us to be disciplined to thrive during training and after when we went home. Ironing uniforms every night and weekend, PT in the brutal Alabama summer. Facing fears, whether that be heights or confined spaces. And hours of studying book material. We've learned that discipline is a critical part of a successful career and a part of our process because most days you just don't want to do it. Train hard, study, push yourself, go out in the heat, go out in the cold. When the tone goes off in the fire station and we're called to action, we have no choice but to go. I like to say you don't have to want to do it to do it. Discipline will help us serve Montgomery because we'll be disciplined to learn and practice our jobs and be ready to respond no matter the call. Teamwork. We've learned teamwork, the value of teamwork in the Montgomery Fire Academy. Firefighting is a dangerous job, and that's common knowledge. It's vital that every fire we fight and every scene we show up to, we're working together as a team. To solve the problem or put out the fire, firefighting has no place for the individual or the lone wolf. We've been instilled with a no man left behind mentality. We must check the guy off and make sure he's fully protected from the fire before we enter. And he will do the same for us. We must communicate early and often about the conditions of the fire and the structure, and if at any moment things go sideways, we are there with our fellow firefighter to drag them out to safety. Everything we do is together and in tandem. An elite group of individuals cannot function well as a team. A group of slightly average, above average people who work well together, communicate, and look out for the person to their left will make an elite team. What we've learned from our training captains is the process is a never-ending refinery of skills and constant learning and seeking knowledge to become the best version of yourself. All right? In Montgomery Fire Rescue, we must develop the process. Coming here, most, if not all of us, thought we were done with school. And man, were we in for a rude awakening when we started EMT. Then getting certified in Hazmat A&O. Then getting certified in Rope 1. And then getting certified to be firefighters. I'll never forget the day Captain Johnson walked into the classroom and he told us that he thought that too. Once he left school, he was done learning. Until he came to Montgomery Fire Rescue, he realized he joined a fire department that's committed to the process. Continuously learning, growing, and striving for better. Now all 15 of us graduating today have committed to the Montgomery Fire Rescue process. Pride, being the best. Discipline, doing it when you don't want to do it and because you're supposed to. Teamwork, working together against the problem and looking out for the next person. And leadership. Perhaps the most important thing that we've learned is service. We're here to serve the community of Montgomery to the best of our abilities. We've committed to a career that demands selflessness. The process, the pride, discipline, and teamwork are instilled in us so that we can do our best to serve you and the citizens of Montgomery. Each class is asked if they'd like to design a class plaque to commemorate the class and the training officers. We've done so, and I promote to you the graduating plaque of Class 2022A.
Class, up. Now the class of 2022A will recite the firefighter's prayer located on the back of your programs. Please listen carefully to the words and understand the tremendous responsibility these firefighters have volunteered to accept. Class, the firefighter prayer. Class. Class, the mission statement. I will leave you with one final thought. There are 10 things that require zero talent as a firefighter. All it takes is hard work. Number 1, know your job. Number 2, be able to perform your job. Number 3, maintain a high level of fitness. Number 4, become a student of the craft. Number 5, train more than you complain. Number 6, never walk past something you can fix yourself. Number 7, put others before yourself. Number 8, lead by example no matter what your rank is. Number 9, never take your job for granted, and if you do, go back to the day you find out you got the job. Remember that feeling. And number 10, honor all that came before you by leaving it better than you found it, because after all, that's what they did for you. As we conclude, I would like to remind everybody that we are streaming this live on Facebook, so go to our page, Montgomery Fire Rescue, follow us, like us. This now concludes the graduation ceremony for Class 2022A. Once the class is dismissed, we will be taking pictures, and I ask that you be considerate of the photographer. Class, one last time. Dismissed.